जयधारी माँ। हर जीवन अनेक प्रकार के रंगों से भरा हुआ है। बातचीत वही रंग बांटेगी आप सबके साथ। हम सब एक हैं, बस सोच अलग अलग है। बटोर लीजिए उन रंगों को, जो भी आप चाहें इस बातचीत से, और ढाल लीजिए अपनी सोच में। यही मकसद है इस बातचीत का। आइए मिलते हैं अपने प्यारे से मेहमान से। अतिथि देवो भव। जयधारी माँ मम्मी।
जयधारी माँ बेटे, गो अहेड प्रोसीड।
हमारे साथ सब जुड़े हैं। आई वेलकम यू ऑल। आइए शुरू करते हैं आज की बातचीत। हमारी जो आज के अतिथि हैं, 14 साल की उम्र तक उन्होंने भागवत गीता का अध्ययन कर लिया था और उन्होंने अपनी कॉपी बना ली थी क्वेश्चन आंसर्स की। At a very young age, she felt her path. चलने से पहले you have to feel your path. She felt her path. She knew her path. And she walks her path. Her path is of pure sadhana. आइए आज उनको जाने and let's have a heart-to-heart conversation about her life, about how she looks at life. उससे पहले एक वीडियो देखते हैं उनके ऊपर।
नमस्ते नमस्ते
नमस्ते, ब्यूटीफुल।
आप इस वक्त नैनीताल के तरफ है, पनघोट में।
हाँ, यस, 10 किलोमीटर फ्रॉम नैनीताल, हिमालय की गोद में हूँ।
जैसे मैं आपको कह रही थी कि आपकी टीचिंग, आपकी लर्निंग, आपका एक्सपीरियंस वो हम तक पहुंच रहा है।
थैंक्स टू मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी।
what it is for. Mataji, thank you for coming. Mummy, a few words before I request Mataji to share her journey, her childhood, her schooling, her college, her path. A few words.
I'm very, very curious to know about more and more about Divya. I'll call you Divya. May I? You are so very innocent, innocent in your laughter, in your looks, so innocent. Total personification of purity and innocence, Divya. You're so wonderful. I feel a mother to you. I feel like a mother to you.
Thank you so
And
much.
मुझे ऐसा खुशकिस्मती लगती है कि मेरे पास एक स्पिरिचुअल डॉटर है. साइना तो है ही मेरी डॉटर. एक मुझे आप जैसी एक स्पिरिचुअल डॉटर मिली, क्योंकि जब से मैं पहली बार आपको मिली सुना, जब मैंने आपको पहली बार सुना, मेरी बहुत नेचुरल अट्रैक्शन हुई तुम्हारी कि मैं कभी किसी टाइम दिव्या को मिल सकूंगी. मुझे ये नहीं मालूम है कि 1 किलोमीटर दूर से मेरे घर से आप रह रहे हो.
Look.
So credit goes to Saina and her team of demonstrative learning, जिन्होंने आपको कहा कि आपको ही मिलना है. You see how the alignment happened कि हमको इस बार आपको बातचीत. And you are after Maharaj Swaminath ji, Swami, which is Bhagwan Radhanath ji. After Radhanath ji, you are our second spiritual speaker on Baatcheet, Atithi on the Baatcheet. So we are very spiritualized, this program. Baatcheet is very blessed. So go ahead, Saina.
With Ma's Kripa, Sister Shivani had also joined us, and each Atithi has brought.
Shivani also joined us, correct.
Each Atithi has brought their learnings, and that is what Baatcheet is all about. It is different colors of life. Each Atithi is bringing their strength, their love to the show, and they give a lot of courage to all of us. They inspire us. So we feel very blessed to have you, Mataji, and please let's get to know your early years, your childhood, your journey in your own words.
ऐसा है कि being a monastic member of a monastic organization, I am not going to tell you too much about मेरा past जो है, जिसको हम कहते हैं कि like pre-monastic life. But yes, I will give you an introduction to what my life was like and why I chose this path. तो हमारा जो पूर्वाश्रम होता है उसके बारे में हम बहुत ज्यादा नहीं बोलते हैं, because we have taken a totally new life altogether and we are immersed in sadhana for this simple reason. But I will give you some things about what made me what I am today, and I would attribute it entirely to sanskars and the grace of God that I could take up a path which is very unique and not taken up by usually by most people. तो इसीलिए जब भी कोई मुझसे मिलता है यही पूछते हैं पहले कि at this young age how did you take this up? तो ऐसा है कि I was deeply interested in meditation and scriptures right from a young age, बहुत छोटी उम्र से. तो by the age of almost 14, before I stepped into my 10th standard actually, I had read through the Bhagavad Gita and I had made my own copy of the Bhagavad Gita with question answers. Or that book influenced me a lot. And I was very meditative by nature. This may appear strange for a girl of that age, but मैं ध्यान करती थी. And I used to find it very interesting to stop the modifications of the mind. I used to hurry to the local Ramakrishna ashram just to stop the modifications of my mind. और ये मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगता था because in a very conscious state, if you are able to do it, you enter into a profound state of deep awareness. So I found that to be the sanest state of mind. Meditation gives you that glimpse, that it brings you to the very depths of your being. और ये मुझे it just gripped me, and so I was very meditative by nature. And by the time I finished my schooling, I had decided, I knew at the back of my mind that I would be choosing a meditative life, which means a monastic life. Usually, that is what it means because the monastic life gives you an ambience, an opportunity to live a predominantly meditative life. तो फिर मैं जब कॉलेज में आई तब this interest only grew, and I read through a whole lot of scriptures. Meditation के बाद मैं वो करती थी, and I definitely aligned with Vivekananda's ideas and felt deeply attracted towards the teachings of the order, the Ramakrishna order. और फिर मैंने ये भी सुना कि उनका विमेन्स विंग है, शारदा मठ है, which is a completely independent monastic institution entirely run by women sannyasinis. In fact, it's the biggest independent monastic order for women in the world. So after my graduation and a brief stint in CSIR also, because I had entered a program, an integrated MLC PhD program there. So I decided that this life, the monastic life, is the thing for me. तो इसीलिए मैंने वो कोर्स कंप्लीट नहीं किया and I plunged into monastic life and I found the ambience I wanted. तो यही बात है ना, हम उसी के पीछे जाते हैं जो हमारा which is our calling, and if the very peaceful atmosphere and the holy ambience of the place that helped me a lot in building my inner life. I was always deeply studious and meditative by nature and also quite reclusive. I would be by myself, and we have a definite period of training also at our headquarters. We are headquartered in Dakshineshwar. आपने सुना होगा, किरण बेदी जी ने शायद देखा है, विजिट किया है. तो वहां पर we have a definite period of training about 2 years, and after that we are initiated into the vows of brahmacharya. After another 5 years, it's initiation into sannyas. So on the whole, the order gives you an ambience, the purity required to dive into meditation and a life of inner research and discovery. So this is the blessing of the monastic order. Or of course, ours is not a plainly meditative life. It is always combined with duties. We run schools and colleges and hospitals. So I was also the principal of Nivedita Vidya Mandir for about 5 years in Delhi. And I was always into publications, writing and printing material. Now I'm the editor of Samvit. In addition to that, I'm teaching at IIT Delhi and also another university, SSU, which have introduced contemplative studies. They are offering master's degrees in Yoga and Vedant, in contemplative studies, science degrees. So इस सब में they've sent me invitations, and of course IIT Delhi has been very active in this. I have offered a number of courses there, और बीच बीच में वो बुलाते ही रहते हैं ऐसे स्ट्रे लेक्चर्स के लिए भी और कोर्सेज के लिए भी, and the response has been huge. You can see it all on YouTube. तो उन्होंने एक चैनल ही बना दिया इन कोर्सेज के लिए दिखाने के लिए, and the response has been really huge over that. So recently they sent me a workplace summary, जिससे मुझे पता चला कि there is so much of living interest and zeal in the essentials of Yoga Vedant interpreted in a purely scientific format. So this is how it's going. At present, I'm in Nainital, Pangot. I've come here for sadhana, and since about 1.5 months I'm here. And from here I'm doing the classes and of course the meditations for which I came.
I felt that when I was reading about you and listening to you, I felt that what you want us to know is there, and what you want us to know about your life is there, and you're walking on a very, very different path.
Right.
How do you take, when you do sadhana, when you do meditation, it's a different state of mind. How do you carry that forward through your day? How do you carry that forward when you're in a non-meditative state?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's a nice question. Actually, see, the service activities of our order, they are not taken as social work in the order itself. The very being whom we are meditating upon, our service, the philosophy of service in the order is you are worshipping that same being through the work you are doing also. So अगर हम स्कूल चला रहे हैं या कॉलेज चला रहे हैं, जो भी कर रहे हैं, it is a worship of the divine in that form. तो वो सेवा भी एक तरह का वर्शिप है, वर्शिप ऑफ द डिवाइन इन ऑल दिस. ये तो उनका विराट रूप है ना. ही इज ट्रांसेंडेंट, ही इज आल्सो इमेनेंट इन हिज क्रिएशन. सो ये तो उनका विराट रूप बना ये जगत. सो वी डोंट डिसमिस इट लाइक दैट. इट इज वर्शिप ऑफ गॉड इन एवरी बीइंग, in whatever form, whether it is teaching, whether it is providing medicines, whether it is whatever it is. तो इस तरह से हम कर्मयोग लेते हैं. इसीलिए द मेडिटेटिव स्टेट कैन बी कंटिन्यूड इवन इन वर्क. ये कोई डिविजन नहीं है इसमें. इन प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ आई हैव सीन दिस. इफ यू अटेन द स्टेट ऑफ मेडिटेशन, जो ध्यान, धारणा नहीं, ध्यान में अगर आप चले जाओ, in the mornings at dawn, if you attain that state, ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में शायद आपने अटेन किया, तो सारा दिन आपको वो टच रहेगा. You can't escape it. The problem is if you don't attain that state, then you have to bring in some philosophy of service or something like that and carry on. But if you attain the state of meditation, it becomes natural. It's a seamless single reality everywhere. It becomes natural for you to connect with everybody as you would connect with the divine. तो इसी को करने की कोशिश करते हैं.
So anything you're connecting is a divine connection.
Yes. Yes, that's how we see it.
And does it come because you meditated in the rightly in the morning and you continue? Is it because of that? Is it primarily the source?
Yes, I would say there is absolutely no substitute to spiritual practice and actual a kind of deep inner intuition or touch of the divine, which you may get in your meditative periods, but which gets extended as you proceed through the day. इसलिए ये जो हमारा मोटो है ना, the motto of the order itself is Atmano Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya Cha. We don't leave aside the world or dismiss the world in any way. It is part and parcel of our spiritual practice. It is for the liberation of the self and the service of humanity. So they go together.
It is said after reading Gita, live the Gita. So
yes.
You are exactly doing that.
I am trying to do it with divine grace. Yes.
Before Saina asks you next question, I want to go back to your roots. That while when you were student, you were already getting oriented towards knowing that I am moving towards a meditative system or meditative way of life. Was it an inner calling? Was it inherited? Did it grow, or did you call? Did you call it, or was it calling from within?
No. See, the initial few years when I practiced meditation, it was all an inner hankering to stop the modifications of the mind. See, this may really appear strange to many people, that how a young girl would want to do this. But it did happen to me that I felt very intensely about this, remaining intensely conscious without the thought process has very magical effects on the mind. This is an actual state to attain. And I would be in a rush actually to do this. Every day after my school, I would meditate. And even in the mornings, I would try to attain this state. So ये मैं यही कहूंगी कि कुछ पास जन्मों के संस्कार होंगे, और क्या. किसी ने तो मुझे बोला नहीं था कि ऐसा करना है या ऐसा करना पड़ेगा, ये करना अच्छा है. किसी ने मुझे बोला नहीं था. I did it by myself. And I found it extremely interesting. The meditative state, in fact, I again repeat, is the sanest state of existence, where you have awakened to a dimension of intelligence. You know all things at once. You are in touch with deep awareness, and you are perfectly able to handle your mind. When you can handle your mind, you can handle the world. ये कोई theory नहीं है, ऐसा ही है. The inbuilt, the inner life is like this. That is why people meditate. If I can't handle my mind, I can't handle the world.
Mataji, you talk about the power of the mind.
Yes.
You know, in my own humble way, I would write a lot as a young girl, and I in the morning found a notebook in which I had written and I wanted to ask you, purity of the mind. The whole page had
Right.
I had scribbled a lot of times, purity of the mind.
Right.
That state is very important to go through what we are all going through right now, because it all starts there. If agar aapki
Right.
soch, Mataji, if the purity of the mind is not there, your way of thinking is, how will you translate that into anything, even a practice? So, how do you work towards purity of mind?
Yeah. What a beautiful question. So ये जो मन की पवित्रता है, purity of mind, that is the precondition for meditation. So an absolutely honest, committed life, given to honest work, given to clarity of and purity of intention, this automatically generates purity of mind. And keeping the entire system pure in order to make this inner penetration possible. ये एक प्री कंडीशन होता है मेडिटेशन का. Many people think meditation is about concentration and focus. No, it's to do with your entire life. Because if your thought is functioning in one particular way, the emotion going in another direction, and the will functioning in some other way, you are not going to achieve the state of meditation. तो बात यही है, a totally committed life of inner striving and dedicated service, which means selflessness. Service is the best purifier. It removes the ego completely. A life of service. You can see the life of मेरी जो inspiration है मेरे सामने ही बैठी है, किरण बेदी जी. A life of dedicated service naturally removes the ego. आपका purification अपने आप हो जाएगा. So that is the precondition for the meditative life.
हम लोग कहते हैं सबको मेडिटेट करो, साथ ये भी नहीं बताते उसकी प्री कंडीशन क्या है, प्रेपरेटरी क्या है.
Right, right. That's why we say always karma yog से ही फिर ध्यान योग में जा सकते हैं. Well, that's the foundation, karma yog.
वंडरफुल. तो कर्म ऐसा हो जो स्वच्छ हो,
ठीक, एकदम.
जिसमें राग और द्वेष ना जुड़ा हुआ हो,
बिल्कुल,
लेकिन त्याग जुड़ा हुआ हो.
हाँ,
ऑटोमेटिकली वो आपको उस तरफ ले जाएगा.
बिल्कुल.
Tell us about your monk life. What is it, if you can? What is the life of a monk?
So the life in the ashram is actually very austere. We have very definite periods of meditation, study, and work, of course, duties, service activities, and a kind of routine which we have to follow. Like it begins very, very early in the morning, 3 o'clock, and then you meditate for about 2.5 to 3 hours. Then there's regular chanting so that we keep in touch with the scriptures. There is Upanishadic chanting, Vedic chanting, and learning a whole lot of hymns and all that. Bhagavad Gita chanting. उसके बाद फिर हमारे ड्यूटीज आरंभ होते हैं. All of us have to do karma yoga. This, I told you, the motto is Atmano Mokshatam Jagat Hitaya Cha. So almost about 8 hours of very solid work will be there for every monastic. Don't think just because I'm in the Himalayas here, इसका मतलब है सिर्फ साधना कर रही हूँ और कुछ नहीं है. ऐसी बात नहीं है. यहाँ भी मुझे क्लासेस लेने पड़ते हैं. बहुत सारा काम. I'm actually also writing the next book of pertaining to the courses which I have done, because these are serving as textbooks to the universities which are introducing these courses. So ऐसा काम तो होता ही है, and your duties are well defined. So it's the quiet life, the committed life, the service oriented life. शाम को भी आपको definite times मिलेंगे for meditative practices, and दोपहर को भी आप कर सकते हो, midnight में भी कर सकते हो. Your day is yours, and it's a very calm, silent environment which you get. So ये पूरा day ऐसे ही जाता है. I actually don't know how so many years have just passed. It feels like yesterday I took all these decisions and came over, because पता ही नहीं चलता समय कैसे जाता है. And I have never felt depression or negativity or anything like that. This I can tell you. The monk's life, the monastic life assures that your mind remains at a certain level just because of the austerity and purity of the life. तो बात यही है, see, this is what everybody is aiming at, but in different ways. You must keep the mind at a particular level and it will remain happy. Antidepressants लेने की जरूरत नहीं है to get rid of negativity.
Who allocates work to you? You said you have also karam yog, karam. Who allocates work? Like you, who allocates? Is there a supervisor? Is there a senior? Is it a teacher? Who allocates?
Yeah, it's a monastic order, so there's a definite administrative machinery, and there's a definite head of a center. We call her the secretary. So she allocates the work.
Right.
She allocates the duties. Yeah.
How does she allocate? According to you, how does she allocate?
Actually, my duties were determined by the general secretary of the order itself, because I was mainly put in charge of the school and then the publication unit, and now all this teaching which I am doing at various universities. They are all these are all activities supported by the trustee board and the general secretary of our mission. Her name is Amal Pranamataji. I don't know if you have met her. So they have all been very supportive of this work, and it is bringing the scriptural knowledge to our young minds of today and helping them develop values. Because if there is reality orientation, naturally values develop, isn't it? If you are in touch with the truth of your being, you will naturally become a man of values.
Correct.
तो इसीलिए मेरे ड्यूटीज तो ऐसे ही डिटरमिन हुए हैं.
Yes, I
we all come with our own purpose. We all come with our own path.
You're right.
अगर सृष्टि में everybody has a role to play. If
Yes.
everybody can start being true to their calling.
Right. Correct.
To their day, which is in front of them.
Right.
Just to the day that is in front of them.
Right.
As you said, true to your being. Things will be very different.
सचमुच.
मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाह रही थी कि आपने इतना अध्ययन करा है स्क्रिप्चर्स के बारे में. What is the essence? Because सतयुग आया, त्रेता युग आया, द्वापर युग आया, एंड कलयुग आया. उन्होंने हमें तैयार तो कर दिया है, उन्होंने हमें लर्निंग्स तो दे दी हैं टू कॉम्बैट कलयुग.
Right.
What is the essence? Because sometimes what happens is faith has to be approached with a lot of innocence, but you have to live like a warrior.
Right.
You have to live like a warrior with wisdom. But you approach their feet with a lot of innocence.
Right.
That balance for me is sadhana. As a householder, that's how I define it for myself.
Yes.
But I would really seek your guidance on what are the scriptures guiding us for these times.
Right. So, practically, how can we use the scriptures in our everyday life? How can we bring all these great thoughts into practical effect? How can it help us? See, Vivekananda was adamant about this, that these ideas are not just meant for the Himalayas, for mountain caves. It has to come into practical life. In fact, he used to say the abstract Advaita has to become poetic. And the bewildering yogism which we have in our scripture should become the most practical psychology which we can use. And out of all this should come concrete moral forms. So the impact of all these great ideas, our philosophies, Yoga, Vedanta, usko hum kaise use kare? See, this is the whole effort. We are trying to today bring all these ideas into the modern idiom, into a scientific paradigm, which is purely logical, not exactly faith-based, only for this purpose that it becomes useful to the modern man, right where he is. तो ऐसे बहुत सारे ideas हैं हमारे scriptures में, which will help us in what we call mind management today. And with mind management, time management, ambiguity management, all of this, it will help us in all this. Mind की stability कैसे हम रख सके हम सब समय, all the time. How do we control our emotions? How do we build our emotional and spiritual intelligence? All these ideas are there in seed form. What are the different states of mind we are capable of? Each state, उसकी effect क्या होती है? How do you make the right decisions? ये भी है, पता है आपको? In the
Yes.
Kathopanishad, you have Shreyas Prayas, very important idea. किसी भी डिसीजन लेने के आगे what will be the end result? श्रेयस्कर होगा या प्रेयस्कर होगा? इसको चेक करना है. And incline towards Shreyas, they will tell you. Incline towards that which is preferable rather than that which is pleasurable. So that then your decision will be right. So ऐसे
Yes.
बहुत important चीजें हैं scriptures में. All we have to do is draw it with a very steady mind and apply it in everyday life. Application के बिना knowledge has no meaning, isn't it? If I can't apply it in my everyday life. आज हम जो देखते हैं society में, corruption, whatever crime, it's all because the ideas have remained like ideas. They have not come down, seeped into our being as values. So इसीलिए मेरा prime purpose ही है इन सब ये जो मैं कर रही हूँ, it is to bring value orientation, especially value sensitivity into our youngsters. I'm very happy with the group I'm working. They are all under 30 and mostly IITs. तो ये क्रीम ग्रुप है हमारे देश का जो जिनमें अगर ये सेंसिटिविटी आ जाए ना, they can do a whole lot of things in the future. And I can tell you the response has been enormous. So far I have spoken at 5 IITs and full time working with one IIT, and that is going around also in various ways. और ये बच्चे इतने sensitive हैं, you know, many of them have come and told me this, that we never thought we would get this treasure in IIT. ये तो हमने सोचा भी नहीं था, मिल गया है, अब हम ये नहीं छोड़ेंगे, ये वो खुद बोलते हैं. तो the practice of the 5-minute meditation which I have introduced, ये सब चीजें जो है, it affects the young mind and a certain amount of calmness comes into the system. You can think better, plan your day better, do your work better with better concentration. So ये छोटी छोटी चीजें we have tried to introduce and bring this practically into the lives of our people, and I will continue to do this because you don't know the amount of invitations I get. I'm so sorry to say this on a public platform that I'm not able to answer those invitations at all. So many invitations come. At present, I have 22 invitations all over the world to be answered. So there is great demand for this knowledge. This I can tell you. इसका मतलब है people are able to connect with it in a deep way. तो उसको ऐसे present करना है and see that we apply it in our everyday life.
Mataji, you also set a curriculum combining
Right.
Vedanta with psychology, because the youth does look for logic, analysis.
True.
And
Yeah.
आप प्लीज बताएं फर्क कैसे आता है, बिकॉज शॉर्टकट तो नहीं है टू वॉक ऑन दिस पाथ.
Right.
Effort, you need that effort.
Yes.
We do everything to clean our bodies every day,
Right.
you know, to feed our stomach, but to work on our soul, to work on our essence is also daily work.
True.
How is this helped when you combine spirituality, the essence of our scriptures, with modern psychology?
Yes.
Because we have to speak their language.
True.
To make them understand, we have to speak their language. And then they listen.
Yes.
So how has it helped? What has been the before and after like?
Yeah. That's a very relevant question because, modern psychology, one of the characteristics of modern psychology was it studied the sick mind, if I should put it like that. The mind which was in depression, the mind which was over anxious, the mind which had all sorts of psychological problems. So ऐसे mind को study करना and studying the healthy mind, there's a big difference. You study a yogi's mind, you study a Vivekananda, that also must be part of psychology, isn't it?
Correct.
Why should psychology only focus on depressed people, sick,
Correct.
mentally unhealthy people? So
Correct.
the point was this: by combining contemplative studies with psychology, we want to change this narrative of psychology, in the sense bringing more positivity into psychology and studying the healthy mind, the mind which is full of energy. What contributes to the energy of the mind? What contributes to greater awareness?
Correct.
What contributes to higher happiness? ये चीजें स्टडी करना क्या important नहीं है?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what we have tried to do. There's a whole ladder of happiness which has been created. The different levels of happiness available to the human experience, और इस ladder को हम कैसे climb करें? There's actually a lecture also on that on YouTube, ladder of happiness. So studying the healthy mind, studying the mind which is at peace with itself, the balanced and stable mind, how does it work? What are the factors that contribute to it? And what contributes to higher happiness? इसके लिए ये किताब भी लिखी है, ये जो मैं यहाँ दिखा रही हूँ, The Science of Happiness, according to Yog Vedant. So we are bringing out material like this only to introduce our spiritual heritage back to our youngsters in a completely scientific format. So that is why we tried to combine psychology and contemplative studies, and it has been a very successful experiment. आपको पता है जितने बच्चों ने ये लिया है, they are getting degrees, both graduate and postgraduate and super specialization degrees in this. वो सभी बोलते हैं हम रिसर्च करेंगे तो वेदांत में करेंगे. हाँ, हम PhD we will want it in Vedant, in self knowledge. So it will create a whole new generation of psychologists who are effectively able to combine the healthy mind and analyze the problems of the sick mind from that standpoint, and not just focus on the sickly attitudes of the mind. You see, the lesser the awareness, the more sickly the mind becomes. This is the actual equation, because happiness is an exponential function of your awareness. अगर अवेयरनेस ही ना हो मन में, सिर्फ all sorts of worries and fears and anxieties हो, तो कैसे, how will happiness come into that mind?
Yeah.
Meditation is nothing but raising the bar of your happiness by raising your awareness.
Yes. You become
Isn't it
aware.
obvious?
Yes.
Yes. तो ये simple चीजें समझने से we will be able to produce a psychology of positivity, a psychology of the healthy mind, and this will help society immensely. Because everybody's problem is the same, they are all constantly asking stress कैसे overcome करें, depression कैसे हो. Just now, considering this pandemic also, कितनी negativity है society में. So you begin with your mind. Happiness is a state of mind. Start with your mind and start with being happy with yourself first. Then you will share that happiness with others. You will exactly share what you state you are in. That is for
You're
sure.
so right. You're so right. You're so right. Last 1 month मुझे जितनी रिक्वेस्ट आई किसी से बातचीत करने को, मैंने कहा मुझे बात नहीं करनी. मैंने नहीं कोई इनविटेशन दिया. मैंने कहा मेरे बात नहीं करनी, क्योंकि I had gone so much within myself. I had become so contemplative on what's happening. How do we handle
Right.
this? I was handling my own self. And I
Right.
was so right, Divya. मैंने कहा मुझे जून में even your बातचीत, दिव्या, बातचीत हमारी कितनी पोस्टपोन हुई, कितना प्रोग्राम
yes.
इसीलिए बिकॉज सभी का काम घुमा हुआ था, उसको संभाल रहे थे हम लोग सब ऑर्डिनरी ह्यूमन बीइंग्स अपने इक्विलिब्रियम को वापस कॉम्पस को संभाल रहे थे. तो मैं किसी से बात क्या करूं अगर मेरा कॉम्पस ही उल्टा हो रहा है.
Right.
तो बातचीत के लिए भी हमें इसलिए पोस्टपोन करना पड़ा आपके साथ इंटरव्यूज, क्योंकि हम सब लोग अपना कॉम्पस ढूंढ रहे थे. मैं अपना कॉम्पस ढूंढ रही थी, और जैसे कॉम्पस वापस सुई पे आया, बातचीत हो गई.
देखिए, so actually speaking, no, Kiran Bedi, it's not that it's only the viruses that people catch. You
Yeah.
need not fear only catching viruses. You even catch what are called social contagions. इसका मतलब है
Yes.
हमारे जो moods होते हैं ना, we actually exchange moods. We exchange our positivities or negativities, whatever. तो
वही हो
इसीलिए
रहा था।
पहले, हाँ, पहले taking care of our mind, the states of our mind is very important. We will
ये
only share
व्हाट्सएप
what we have.
ये व्हाट्सएप पे जो मैसेजेस आए कि आज वो चला गया, आज वो चला गया, आज वो चला, उफ, उसको संभालना बहुत मुश्किल था। कौन आया कौन गया भगवान, बहुत कुछ हुआ पीछे। आई वांट टू आस्क यू दिव्या वन क्वेश्चन साइना बिफोर आई, इफ यू परमिट, इज
जी जी।
आस्किंग व्हाट चैलेंजेस डू यू पीपल फेस, यू एज मॉन्क्स, आपके भी लाइफ में चैलेंजेस होते हैं?
हाँ, challenges तो होते हैं। किस लाइफ में challenges नहीं होते? हमारे लाइफ के जो challenges हैं, mainly they are internal challenges.
हाँ, कैसे?
Because the Kathopanishad, it defines the spiritual path as Kshurasya dhara nishita duratyaya durgam patastat kavayo vadanti. इसका मतलब है, it is like walking on the razor's edge. Now tell me, what can walk on a razor? Only another razor can walk on a razor. है ना? तो
यस,
इसीलिए मन मन की स्थिति, ये प्राण शक्ति की स्थिति ऐसी रखनी चाहिए that you are able to successfully walk this path. It's all to do with sadhana. In fact, all the obstacles and whatever challenges of this life are primarily internal. They may appear to be external sometimes, but actually they are internal. They are to do with our reactions. They are to do with the states of our mind. So इन सबको control करना, इन सबको positive रखना, and yet proceed with your sadhana full steam. This is a really huge effort. और ऐसे लोग चाहिए ना, see, always in the past, even in the administration of kings, their advisors were rishis. है ना? Huh? You take Ramayana, you take any scripture. Why was that? Because a very stable mind is required to give solutions.
वाओ,
So we need rishis in society. We need the rishi mind in society in order to bring stability to all
वाओ,
our various issues. और उसके लिए ऐसी all these challenges, everything is important, and this life is important. That is why the monastic life, we must understand its importance to a society. It's not just personal front. हमारे liberation के लिए हम आए हैं. This kind of a mind is required to address the challenges which society faces as a whole. क्योंकि we are generating the very stable states of mind required to address
करेक्ट,
these challenges.
correct. Fantastic. Lovely. I love this idea. Having a rishi, cabinet of rishis with you. Imagine the kind of stability it will continue to restore sanity. It's like restore
Yes,
sanity. किसी ने कोई
right,
गलत शब्द बोला तो बोलेंगे कट कट, किसी ने वो ऊंचा
right,
बोला कट, किसी ने कोई
right,
गलत
right,
सोचा कट। सो हर एक का
right,
ऑडिट हो रहा है वैल्यूज पर, नॉट
correct,
परफॉर्मेंस
right.
ऑडिट, वैल्यू ऑडिट। कमाल है, व्हाट अ वंडरफुल थिंग। या ये इसीलिए वो लोग इतनी इतनी तरक्की करे कई जगह। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वंडरफुल न्यू आइडिया। ओके साइना, बैक टू यू।
Mataji, another feeling I often get is, जैसे आपने बोला साधना के बारे में और आपने बात करी of all the learned sages who could instantly give you the right path. It is so important to have your heart, body, mind, soul moving in the same direction.
Right,
They have to be in harmony with each other.
true,
A healthy body will carry a healthy heart, a
right,
healthy mind will penetrate into
हेल्दी
the healthy
इमोशंस।
soul, and they will create a healthy life. So it's so important that the heart, body, mind, soul, and our senses are in harmony with each other and working in the same direction.
true.
Talking about this, we are going to show you your heart space.
ओह वाओ।
Oh, okay.
I didn't know why she was taking us towards this statement. Now she has an answer. She's a reason. Let's see. Let's see what you've done for people.
Oh, that was lovely. Thank you. Thank you. She's really my heart space.
And Sri Sharda Devi Ma is, I think, a symbol of devotion and courage. I think
Yes.
one of
Yeah.
the most courageous
Yeah.
energies, a very brave.
Yeah. And the epitome of motherhood, the mother ideal.
She nurtured everyone.
Yes.
She
What
forgave
would be your
everyone.
message, Divya, for the youth, youngsters? What would be your
True.
message for the one third or more than one third of Indian population, the youth? What is your message to the youth?
Well,
Mataji, could you
my
take us through this through Sharda Ma's learnings, Vivekanandaji's learnings, Ramakrishnaji's learnings, the message for the youth?
yeah, sure. So you see, actually speaking, Vivekananda had the greatest faith in youth. He would never dismiss them as, "Arey, ye to teenagers hai." ऐसा नहीं है. He would say, "My lions will come from the youth force." He had great hope on them. And the primary message which they give to our youth forces: become great achievers, but you can only become that if you have a very stable platform to stand upon. That is why
Yes,
self knowledge is important. आप जो भी करो जीवन में, if you are standing on the platform of self knowledge,
absolutely.
you will there is no doubt you will be great achievers, very stable, very mature, able to handle every situation, not given to negativity, only radiating positivity. Or Vivekananda, that is why he used to say, call upon the sleeping soul and see how it awakens. Power will come, glory will come, goodness will come, purity will come, all that is excellent will come once the soul is aroused to self conscious activity. See, it's a remarkable message. Without self knowledge, if you don't know who you are in depth, how on earth are you going to function in this world very maturely? So I think this is the primary message of our scriptures, of Ramakrishna Vivekananda. And of course, you invoke the presence of Ma Sharada. You really touched my heart. Thank you for that, Saina. So she was, I would say, the very epitome of motherly love, which is so much required for a stable society, isn't it? Tell me.
Yes, yes,
Hmm? माँ के
yes,
सिवा हम क्या हैं?
yes,
ये जो मातृत्व भाव है, that is the highest culturing of the human heart. She was the epitome of this motherhood. Even from a young age, from the age of 18, माँ सभी को अपना संतान मानती थी. She had this capacity. See, it's a capacity of the mind. Motherhood has not just to do with biological motherhood. It's a state of mind. तो ये मन की स्थिति क्या है, which accepts everybody as her own, which is able to give pure selfless love and service to everybody, which is all inclusive, all forgiving, all accepting. तो ये भाव माँ शारदा में from a very young age you can see this, and throughout her life, every man, woman, child, whoever came to her, they felt they are coming into the lap of their mother. She radiated this bhav. So she is the very essence of purity and motherhood. And that is why a blessing to the womankind of this age, एक ऐसा ideal हमें मिल गया है that we can follow it. This is possible in human life. यही दिखाती है माँ.
ब्यूटीफुल. ये जो फंडामेंटल्स हैं जो आपने कहा, यूथ की फाउंडेशन, जो
Yes.
यूथ, ये कौन बनाएगा? सेल्फ बनाएगा, स्कूल का टीचर बनाएगा, घर में माँ और बाप बनाएंगे, कौन बनाएगा? और खुद बनाएंगे. व्हाट इज बिकॉज यू राइट, जिसकी फाउंडेशन, जिसकी नींव ठीक है, वो तो
Right.
जितनी बड़ी इमारत बनाए स्ट्रांग रहेगी, गिरेगी नहीं. लेकिन नींव
Yeah.
कौन सिखाएगा? सामान कौन देगा? खुद वो बनाएगा या कोई उसके साथ हेल्प करेगा?
Yeah. See, actually speaking, it is the parents and the teachers, the school teachers, who are the primary torchbearers of change.
Yeah.
वो बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं. अगर अगर आप देखो, the greatest influence is falling on the child. Today's child psychology is saying this. By the age of 7, ऑलमोस्ट वो टेम्पलेट रेडी हो जाती है बच्चे की, जिस द वैल्यू टेम्पलेट. So what he's exposed to in the first 7 years of his life, that determines a whole lot of things in his life. तो यहाँ पर इन्फ्लुएंस सबसे ज्यादा होता है माँ का और प्राइमरी स्कूल टीचर्स का. So if they are deeply value oriented and they are able to impact the child with values, if they are able to radiate those values, then definitely a whole lot of things can be done. And teachers at any level can do this change later on also. Even the college teachers, we require inspiring teachers actually. One inspiring teacher can change thousands of minds.
Correct.
He or she can change thousands of minds, but it should be a lit torch, and enormous work can be done. So actually speaking, it's not the administrative machinery or the police force, but it is the parents and the teachers who are the torchbearers of change.
Correct.
Mataji,
Yes.
you can't give what you don't have. The teachers and the parents, they themselves need
हाँ जी,
guidance.
orientation.
They
You're
need
right.
they need to be involved with the children
Right.
together
Yes.
to
Right.
move in that direction. You can't pour from an empty cup. Sri
True.
Sharda Devi was so filled with divinity and love and forgiveness. She poured that. It was an overflow. Sri Sharda Devi overflowed with love.
True.
She practiced that life. The parents and the teachers also, they first need to go
You're
through.
right. बिल्कुल. अब मैं मेरा एक एक्सपीरियंस बता सकती हूँ. जब मैं स्कूल में थी, प्रिंसिपल थी, so I had instituted taekwondo classes for the girls, that karate thing. So उनके लिए बहुत सुबह मैंने स्टार्ट किया था. 7 o'clock they had to be there for those classes. और बहुत सारे बच्चे आते नहीं थे. Then I asked them that what is your problem? It is being done for you and why are you not attending? तो आपको पता है उन्होंने क्या कहा? मम्मी उठती नहीं है, पापा बोलते हैं आज जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, पापा तो उठते ही नहीं है. So then I started a orientation class for parents. आपको भेजना है. सी the problem child जो कहते हैं ना, I never found a problem child, let me tell you, but there are problem parents. जो खुद की लाइफ में कुछ भी ये कुछ भी किया हुआ नहीं है, तो वो दे नहीं सक रहे हैं आप बच्चों को. So it is very much required to bring orientation to parents and teachers as regards values, the good life, the noble life, और फिर वो transmit हो जाएगा. Lot of work requires to be done, no doubt.
Tremendous. Very well said. जिसको अगर देने का नहीं है तो वो देगा क्या? खुद के पास नहीं है, उसको खुद बेचारे को चाहिए. पेरेंट्स को खुद चाहिए, टीचर्स को खुद चाहिए. तो वो बच्चों को आगे पास ऑन क्यों करेगा? हम बच्चों को कहते रहे कि तुम ये करो, लेकिन उनको हेल्प नहीं है. See, everybody is not like we are born with those संस्कार. संस्कार क्रिएट भी किए जा सकते हैं.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. Right.
Can
Perfect.
be created? Can good sanskar be created?
Yes. There is a definite psychological process. So can I just mention that in a minute?
Please do.
Please आराम से माताजी.
हमारी जो योगा साइकोलॉजी है, उसमें हाउ संस्कार्स आर क्रिएटेड, इस पर बहुत सुंदर आइडियाज हैं.
Right.
पहला हुआ the vrittis that you circulate in your mind. वृत्ति का मतलब है thoughts. The conscious thought which you circulate in your mind, when you repeat it, it goes into the subconscious and creates a sanskar. ऐसे संस्कारों का जन्म होता है.
Wow.
So what does it depend upon? Upon the conscious thought process. What does the conscious thought process depend upon? It depends upon your intake through the senses.
Correct.
Your exposures, that means, and your memories. तो ये हम कितना रेगुलेट करते हैं, कितना पॉजिटिव रखते हैं, it matters a lot to your thought process. So if we are taking in good stuff through the eyes and ears, हमारे thoughts भी अच्छे रहेंगे.
Yes.
And if we are taking just garbage, nonsense, our thoughts will become like that. So this determines our vrittis, our thoughts, and when we repeat those thoughts, they become our sanskars.
Wonderful.
So the conscious thought process is the gate to the creation of sanskars. इसीलिए
Wonderful.
उसको रेगुलेट करना है, ऐसी चीजें देनी है बच्चों को जिससे अच्छे संस्कार डेवलप हो. If day and night they are being exposed to violent media and all this stuff, you can be sure what will be going on in their heads.
Correct.
So ये इन सब चीजों में थोड़ा रेगुलेशन चाहिए, थोड़ा स्ट्रिक्टनेस चाहिए. This is what I would say.
Mataji, how
Fantastic.
sanskars,
संस्कार create किए जाते हैं.
how sanskars
बहुत
can be
ब्यूटीफुल मैसेज है. संस्कार
How
क्रिएट किए जा
sanskars
सकते हैं.
हाँ,
These are very
तो
very thing. ये नहीं करके मेरे तो है ही नहीं, क्रिएट कर सकते हो. By what इंद्रियां जो पांचों सेंसेस से आप अंदर ले जाओगे, वो क्रिएट करोगे संस्कार ओवर अ पीरियड. एंड चेंज भी, इट्स लाइक हैबिट्स, थॉट्स.
Yes.
दिस इज व्हाट इज कल्टिवेटिंग. अब जितना न्यूट्रिशन नरिश करोगे पॉजिटिव थॉट्स को, उतने वो
Correct.
संस्कार बनते जाएंगे. दैट्स व्हाट शी इज सेइंग. और जितना
Yes.
आप उसको नहीं नरिश करोगे, वो निकल जाएंगे. सो एवरीथिंग
Yes.
इज, इट्स अ हैबिट, it's a thought, it's everyday nourishing it like food. Yes, I know.
Exactly. Just as we take very nutritious food for the
Yes.
health of our body, it's required to
Yes.
take nutritious things for your eyes. And in the scriptural passage it says ahara shuddho sattva shuddhi. जो आप आहार लेते हैं वो अगर सात्विक हो तो सत्व आ जाता है सिस्टम में. वैसे ही जो भी आप आंखों से लेते हो, कान से लेते हो, थ्रू इंद्रियों से लेते हो, वो भी आहार है. Aharati iti ahar. Whatever you take into the system is ahar, food. So if that is not pure and good and nutritious, you are not going to have a healthy system. You won't have a healthy mind.
Absolutely. These are all inputs. Food is an
Inputs.
input. These
Exactly.
are inputs. All your five senses, it's an input. What you touch, what you listen, what you see, what you smell.
Exactly. Exactly.
These are, or what you take through the mouth, is all inputs. I think she's given
Exactly.
whole the key to it is food,
Yes.
whatever, physical, and this is called intangible. ये दिखता नहीं है.
Yes.
फूड दिखता है, लेकिन ये पांचों
Right.
सेंसेस क्या ले रहे हैं, दिखता नहीं है. आप
Correct.
फील करते हो.
Correct.
बस उससे संस्कार बनते हैं. आप आज सीक्रेट मिला इनके थ्रू, संस्कार बनाए भी जा सकते हैं.
Yes.
और गलत सोच भी बनती है. सिर्फ हर चीज बनाई जाती है.
Yes.
Habits और संस्कार, nothing
Yes.
but it's habits. It's fantastic. और ये मैं ऑर्डिनरी लैंग्वेज में इसलिए बोल रही हूँ ताकि यूथ जो सुने, और इसके बाद ये यूट्यूब पे जाएगा ही जाएगा, ताकि उनको ये मैसेज मिले.
Yes.
Yes,
आपका जो कॉन्शियस थॉट प्रोसेस होता है, that is very important.
yeah,
What you repeat there is going to become your impression, your
Correct.
संस्कार.
correct.
तो उसको कैसी हमारी सोच है, कैसा हमारा इंटेक है, all this matters a lot. Part of
Absolutely.
sanskar building. Yeah,
All
character
the
building.
yeah. Yes, I know.
Mataji, a thought that has come to my mind is because I'm living it. For me, I also feel sanskars are very karmic also.
Yes.
Now, I am experiencing where karmas, destiny, free will, when they will it, my life is at Dharima's feet, the mightiest mother, it's surrendered. So my karma, free will, sanskars, prarabdh karmas, future, destiny is all at the divine feet. But before we leave, for a person who's living a day-to-day life, the
Yes.
difference between karma, free will, fate, destiny, please explain this very important difference, how free will does exist, the
Yes.
power of choice, the fact that
Right.
they have given us a thinking mind means we have power of choice. It could be
Right.
limited. It could be limited,
Right.
but we have
Right.
that. So
Right.
please explain
Yes.
to the viewers, to people listening, the difference and how they can use their free will to
Right.
enhance their karmic journey.
Right. Karma in Indian philosophy karma is actually a philosophy of free will. It is not a philosophy of fatalism. इट इज अ फिलॉसफी ऑफ फ्री विल. इसका मतलब है आप जो करोगे उसी के अनुसार आपको फल मिलेगा. जैसा करोगे वैसा भरोगे. And the choice is entirely yours. Sri Ramakrishna used to explain this in a very beautiful parable. He used to say, like, suppose there's a cow, which the owner of the cow ties it to a particular pole, and there is grass all around, so it can graze the grass there. So it is tied, okay? It is tied, but it has the freedom to move around a certain space and feed itself. तो वैसे ही हमारी जो डेस्टिनी होती है अकॉर्डिंग टू अवर पास्ट कर्मास, थोड़ा ये रोप ऐसा दिया जाता है जिसमें in that space you have the freedom, you have the free will to exercise, and you have your choices to make to lead a more positive, a more better life, a more meaningful life according to your choices. But ultimately you are tied to a pole as per your past karma.
Yes.
लेकिन इतना इतना बड़ा फ्रीडम हमें दिया गया है. हाउ यू थिंक एंड एक्सरसाइज योर विल डिटरमिन हाउ यू विल मूव अहेड. So Vivekananda was insistent on this, that you are verily what your thoughts have made you. So take care of what you think. What you think today, that will be your tomorrow. और ऐसी चीज नहीं, it's all left to fate. See, only lazy people make such philosophies. Once we are conscious human beings, we should not say, well, whatever my fate is, that will happen. जीवन जो लाएगा उसी के अनुसार चलेंगे. ऐसी कोई चीज है नहीं. हम जो बनाएंगे उसी के अनुसार होगा, उसी के अनुसार हमारा जीवन बनेगा. हम जो बनाएंगे, what we exert ourselves in, what we will actually do, according to that will be the result. उसी के अनुसार फल मिलेगा हमें. So completely taking it into our hands. Vivekananda used to say, you are the creator of your own destiny. Stand up, be a man, be bold, be strong, and know that you are the creator of your destiny. Take the entire responsibility on your own shoulders, he would say.
Is there any power behind that creativity? I am creating, I am working.
Yes,
Is there a
yes,
creator in my creation? Is there some divinity in my creation?
yes. There is a divine power standing behind our destiny, which has tied us to the pole, but has given us the freedom to exercise this right, to feed ourselves, to move around. So you see, this extension of the rope will be extended if we exercise it completely. अगर उस गाय ने पूरा खा लिया वहां पर, so the rope will be extended so that it can feed itself further on, isn't it? Or it will be tied somewhere else in a better place where it will get more grass. तो ऐसा है, God helps those who help themselves. If we have exercised all our faculties optimally to the highest level, then we will be given the freedom to do more. We will be given, yes, the opening will come right in our own minds. We will understand that. But if we attribute it to something else, मैं कुछ नहीं करूंगी लेकिन भगवान कर देंगे मेरे लिए, और या कोई और फैक्टर कर देगा मेरे लिए. You see, this is just a philosophy of laziness, nothing else. There is some fate which will take care of my. It entirely depends on us what we become. That is the actual fact. How we exercise our will, in what direction, what our choices are, our intentions, and our action. That is going to determine our future.
So I am the karta, I
Yes.
am the karta, I am
Yes.
the karta. But मैं जो कर रही हूँ वो it's in devotion and not
Yes.
for. So the karta,
Correct.
the karam is in devotion. Then
Correct.
the poles spread. Then the area for you to do more expands. Am I right?
Right. Right. एंड इस कर्ता की जो एक्चुअल आइडेंटिटी है, उसका थोड़ा खोज हमें अगर मिल जाए, उसका थोड़ा क्लू अगर हमें मिल जाए, वी विल नॉट इवन हैव द कर्ता बोध. I will not have the sense of agentship, although I will be functioning like an agent.
Right.
But
Right.
the doership, the ego which says I have done it, that will also go. तो ये जो विवेकानंद कहते थे, कंबाइन दीज पार्ट्स ऑफ कर्म योग, भक्ति योग, ज्ञान योग, राजयोग, ये सब कंबाइन करके चलना है, हार्मोनाइज करके.
Correct.
So that a little philosophical speculation also will help you overcome unnecessary things like ego. There's the huge ego problem in the workplace, you see, many times. So all this will go naturally if we are able to combine the paths.
That's right. Okay, Saina, yours?
Mataji, devotion and purity are such important words. They are such
Yeah.
important
Yes,
emotions. उनको समझना
yes,
कितना जरूरी है. Purity and devotion.
true, true.
Purity is a very, और अगर उस प्योरिटी में मेल ना आए, उस प्योरिटी में भी मैं ना आ जाए,
Correct, 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 correct.
क्योंकि purity only comes with that grace where your
Yes,
natural
yes,
state of living,
yes.
not giving in to temptations becomes a natural state of living. That's
Right,
grace,
right,
Mataji. That's
right.
grace.
So
That's
now, Vijay, let Divya
now
go
before
with
we
other things.
leave on this thought message that you've given us, a prayer, a message before you leave for these tough times for all of us.
Thank you. If you could say a prayer for everybody's well-being. Thank you,
Yes,
Divya.
yes. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. May all be happy everywhere. May all be healthy. May all be free from sorrow. May all be peaceful and contented. Let there be peace to everyone. This is the prayer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Divya. Look forward to meeting you sooner, as soon as things
Yes,
come to
yes,
an
in Delhi, all of you, most welcome.
end. When Saina visits me, we will come together.
Yeah,
Thank you
sure.
so much.
Thank
Saina,
you.
thank you for organizing this and inviting her for Baatcheet. What a wonderful session we've had today. One of the finest we've had. Thank you, Saina, and your entire team, Shakira, and all others who behind you in making this program together. Go ahead, Saina.
Mataji Pranam. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Mami. Jai Dhari Ma Mataji. This is Ma's Kripa.
Jai
We've
Dharima.
shared.
Your karam in devotion to her. That's it. To the mother.
Yes,
Your karam
yes.
in devotion to her. That's it. All right? Great. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Divya.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Pranam,
Yeah.
pranam, pranam.
Namaste.